Just 1 year ago, in January 2023, a 41-year-old woman made a decision many of us can relate to. She wanted to lose a little weight. She bought what she believed was a safe, natural weight loss aid, an herbal tea. Like so many others, she assumed that natural meant harmless. But in just 3 days, that tea wreaked havoc on her body, leaving her kidneys and liver severely damaged. This woman had no history of kidney problems. She was healthy, with no underlying conditions. But after 3 days of drinking this tea, she found herself in the ER, suffering from nausea, vomiting, and excruciating pain. Her most alarming symptom? She was anuric. Her kidneys had completely stopped producing urine. Doctors quickly admitted her, running urgent tests. The results were shocking. Her creatinine levels, which reflect kidney function, were nearly 10 times higher than normal. Her aspartate aminotransferase, AST, a key marker for liver health, was more than 30 times the normal range. This once healthy woman was now fighting for her life due to multi-organ failure. How could something like this happen? How could a seemingly harmless tea lead to such devastation? What her doctors discovered after questioning her was so alarming that they published a case study about it, highlighting 7 dangerous supplements. I know this might sound frightening, but it's a reality we need to face. Many supplements that people trust to be safe are anything but, especially for those with kidney disease or who are on prescription medications. Here's the truth: a lot of us think, even if a supplement doesn't help, it won't hurt. But that's simply not true. This is exactly what the 41-year-old woman believed, and it nearly cost her everything. Some supplements, even the ones you can grab off a supermarket shelf, can cause serious harm. If you're skeptical, consider this. Studies show that 1 in every 5 hospitalizations for acute kidney injury is linked to taking the wrong supplement. 1 in 5. That's an alarming number of people losing their kidney function because of mistakes that could have been prevented. My goal today is simple: to make sure you're not one of them. There are 7 common supplements you need to know about, ones that could be putting your health at serious risk. Let's start with the tea that sent this woman to the ER. But before we get there, I want to tell you about a supplement that's even sneakier. It might not seem as harmful at first glance, but it's widely sold and often mistaken for something as innocent as candy. Number 7 is licorice. Let me tell you about something surprisingly dangerous, a weight loss supplement that's also candy. I'm talking about licorice. Here in Italy, and in many other parts of the world, licorice is incredibly popular. It's consumed as a candy or in its natural form as a root, prized for its sweet, aromatic flavor. But before it became a treat, licorice was a remedy, and it still is. Today, licorice root is marketed as a natural solution for digestive problems, menopausal symptoms, coughs, and even weight loss. And yes, these days, almost everything seems to be pitched as a weight loss miracle. Licorice works by making you pee more. It's a powerful diuretic thanks to a compound called glyceric acid. But here's the catch: it doesn't work like the diuretics your doctor might prescribe. While most diuretics help flush out excess fluid and sodium, lowering your blood pressure in the process, licorice plays a completely different, and much riskier, game. Licorice tricks your body into thinking there's too much potassium. As a result, your potassium levels drop, which can lead to serious problems. First, you're at risk for dehydration. Second, with less potassium and too much sodium in your system, your blood pressure can skyrocket. And in severe cases, people who consume large amounts of licorice as a remedy have been reported to suffer from rhabdomyolysis, a condition where muscle tissue breaks down, and even acute kidney damage. It's hard to believe that something so risky is still sold as candy in so many countries. The US is an exception. Most black licorice candies there don't contain real licorice root or its active compounds. So, if you're a licorice lover or tempted to try it as a natural remedy, please be cautious. This is one treat that can take a serious toll on your health. Next, we'll talk about another weight loss supplement that's even more common than licorice, and just as risky. Number 6. Always avoid yohimbe. Let's talk about yohimbe, a supplement that's become incredibly popular, and not for the right reasons. Many people take it for two main purposes: to help with erectile dysfunction and to lose weight. But here's the truth, they shouldn't. Yohimbe comes from the bark of an African tree, and because it's natural, people assume it's safe. Unfortunately, that's far from reality. Yohimbe is anything but harmless. Some of its common side effects include increased heart rate, anxiety, and high blood pressure. And it gets worse. There have been cases of mislabeled yohimbe supplements, and at least one instance where it was linked to kidney failure. It's no wonder many countries, including several in Europe, as well as Australia and Canada, have banned it altogether. Even if you don't live in one of those countries, I urge you to avoid yohimbe. Your health is worth far more than the risks this supplement brings. And one more thing, if you found this helpful, please give this video a like and share it with someone who could benefit from this information. The more people who know the dangers, the safer we can all be. Now, let's move on to our next entry. This one is even more widely advertised, even marketed to patients, which makes it even more dangerous. Number 5 is ashwagandha. We're never going to stop hearing about ashwagandha. Why? Because even though it can be dangerous, big corporations have invested far too much money for it to simply disappear. There's no denying its popularity. Ashwagandha is everywhere these days. People rave about how this adaptogen helps them relax after a stressful day. And now, supplement brands are adding it to everything: gummies, sleep aids, nootropics, oils, patches, supplements for men, and even supplements for kids. But let's pause for a second. Do kids really need ashwagandha? Starting a habit like this early isn't just unnecessary, it could be harmful. Research has linked ashwagandha to liver and kidney damage. There's also evidence that it can worsen hyperthyroidism, which may lead to kidney problems. And if you're taking medication for diabetes, thyroid issues, cholesterol, or high blood pressure, ashwagandha could interact with those meds in ways that aren't safe. The most alarming part? There are documented cases of people losing transplanted kidneys after taking ashwagandha. Imagine going through a life-saving transplant only to have it jeopardized by a supplement. It's heartbreaking. Don't let clever advertising fool you. Be cautious with ashwagandha, especially if you're on medication, have had a transplant, or are considering giving it to your children. Some risks just aren't worth it. Number 4. Powerade and Gatorade. Now, let's move to number 4 on our list: sports drinks like Powerade and Gatorade. These are another hidden danger, especially for people with kidney disease. Here's why. First, a single bottle of these drinks has as much sugar as a bottle of soda. But it gets worse. Sports drinks are designed to replace the electrolytes lost during intense physical activity, mainly sodium and potassium. If you have kidney disease, drinking Gatorade means loading up on sugar, sodium, and potassium, which can be a dangerous combination. While we've learned that potassium from food isn't as big of an issue for people with kidney disease as we once thought, it's still better to avoid supplementing it. If your potassium levels are too low, something like a banana or an avocado is a much better choice than a sugary sports drink. And if your potassium levels are already high, these drinks are even more risky. Bottom line? Sports drinks might seem harmless, but they're far from it, especially if you're managing kidney health. Stay tuned, because next, we'll talk about another everyday supplement that's hiding even more risks. Number 3, no salt. Let's talk about a lesser-known supplement that's surprisingly high on the list of risks: no salt or salt alternatives. What are they, and why can they be dangerous? These products are marketed as a safe way to flavor meals without sodium, perfect for people with high blood pressure. Instead of using sodium chloride, regular table salt, these alternatives are made with potassium chloride. On paper, it sounds great. Sodium raises blood pressure, while potassium can help lower it, so it seems like the ideal swap. But here's the catch: while potassium can be beneficial, it's still potassium. For most people, it's not a big deal. But if you're among the 20% of kidney disease patients who need to limit potassium, these salt alternatives can be downright dangerous. Now, if you don't have kidney issues and struggle with low potassium or high blood pressure, these products might work for you. But if you have chronic kidney disease, CKD, even a small amount of added potassium can be risky, potentially leading to dangerous imbalances in your body. The takeaway? Be mindful. What's marketed as a safe alternative isn't always safe for everyone. Next, we're moving to number 2 on our list, another supplement that's generally fine for most people but can be harmful if you have kidney problems. Let's dive in. Number 2. Multivitamins. Everyone and their cousin seems to be taking multivitamins every day without a second thought. But if you have chronic kidney disease, CKD, this is a habit you need to avoid. Here's why: when your kidneys aren't functioning properly, they can't filter out excess vitamins as they should. Vitamins like A, E, K, and even C can build up in your system and cause serious health issues. So, it's essential to be cautious, not just with multivitamins but especially with high-dose vitamin supplements. In fact, I recently shared the story of a CKD patient who ended up hospitalized after taking the wrong vitamin supplement. If you missed that, you can find it linked up here or in the description below. But for now, don't go anywhere. Let's wrap up the story we've been exploring today. I promise, it's something you won't want to miss. Alright, everyone, it's time to reveal our number 1. I know you're probably curious, what exactly did that 41-year-old woman take that led to multi-organ insufficiency? As I mentioned earlier, her nightmare began after she drank a weight loss tea made from herbs. Just 3 days later, she found herself in the emergency room fighting for her life. Looking at the ingredients of her tea, linden, sage, rosemary, yarrow, ginger, turmeric, nothing immediately stood out as dangerous enough to cause such severe damage so quickly. So, what went wrong? Here's what the researchers who published her case believe happened: she was sold a contaminated supplement. Sometimes, mistakes happen during manufacturing, and toxic herbs can accidentally get mixed in. One particularly dangerous compound is aristolochic acid, which is found in certain plants from the Aristolochiaceae family. Aristolochic acid is infamous for causing severe kidney damage, including progressive interstitial nephritis, which matches the symptoms this woman experienced. There have been documented cases of people unknowingly consuming this toxin and suffering irreversible kidney damage. This is why it's so important to be extremely cautious with any supplement you take. If you're in the US, Always choose products from reputable brands with GMP and USDA certifications. In other countries, look for trusted brands with third-party testing. And remember, natural doesn't automatically mean safe. Now, was the woman able to recover? Thankfully, yes. After being hospitalized, she was given diuretics, a transfusion, and antibiotics to stabilize her condition. But it took doctors 12 days to pinpoint the tea as the cause of her troubles. Once they did, they started her on methylprednisolone, a corticosteroid that helps reduce the inflammation caused by acute interstitial nephritis. This treatment worked. While she had to spend 40 days in the hospital and it took a full year for her kidney and liver function to return to normal, she was eventually able to go home and recover. Her story is a powerful reminder to always be careful with supplements.